So, am I convoluted about famous people? Well, here's the thing. Um, as far as Miscavige goes, he seems to be all over my employment history, where Trish Miscavige worked for Reichenthal family in Eagle. Miscavige is a large family, and the spelling of the name is varied. So who knows who's really related to whom? But I thought in my research that Shelley Barnett or maybe David has one of them has relatives of the same last name, but it's spelled differently. So perhaps Shelley is related to a different Miscavige family, and um, and these things happen. You meet up with somebody with a similar last name, and you get to talk and you get to know them. Because I believe she came from Texas, and then he and David and Michelle met. Well, the receptionist at Reichenthal Family in Eagle, where I worked when I was around 17, um, she um, she was Miscavige, and she said she had a rich sister in Pennsylvania who was rich in oil. That her husband and her were oil tycoons in Pennsylvania, though. But maybe they live in Pennsylvania, but they were elsewhere rich in oil because I researched it and it doesn't exist. Miscavige oil doesn't exist. Um, then I moved from Reichenthal to a travel agency and then to King Fuels, where I met Lori Miscavige. She works in accounts. She was working in accounts payable while I was in accounts receivable. So her husband is, I guess, Miscavige, and Trisha's husband is Miscavige, and worked for Freihofer's. Well, that's where my uncle Izzy was his superior, and so these plants were always in place. And so I don't stalk the Miscaviges. I have to address that there always seem to be in I'm always in the midst of this familiar name. And so, no, I'm really not. And then this chief of police was dating my neighbor, Janice Kissick. And she was U.S. Navy, retired U.S. Navy. She just didn't make a lot of money. She worked for Sun Country Cleaners. And that was it. That's all I really knew too much. I don't want to give up too much information about her. He was dating her. I just didn't believe he was the chief of anything, but he was. And so he latched on to my jokes about the reviews of the PPPD, which I just did funny voices reading.